Have you ever wondered why you should bother with having rituals? Do rituals even matter? Well, today on Gently Being, I'm starting a new feature that I'll be returning to throughout the year, examining why it's important to have rituals. Hi, welcome to Gently Being. Today, when I came into my office in the morning, I began by greeting and petting my little lucky fairy stone. And then after that, I lit some candles. And I've now really embraced saying a little prayer as I light the candles and dedicating the flame to someone. After that, I went to sit at my desk. And as I looked at the blank page, I realized that while I was going to jot down some ideas for the upcoming Ostara and spring equinox time, I never really stopped to share some thoughts on why I have rituals and why I like to share ideas for honoring sacred time. So today I wanted to start this feature and just sort of do it a little more informally. And first I wanted to talk about this idea of sacred time. Time is something many people think of as just being a fact, something that's logical. How long does it take to bake a cake? How long do I have to get to work? But anyone who's had to wait in line at a DMV knows that we can experience time in a variety of ways. And a lot of the time it depends on our environment and what's happening with our mental state and everything that's going on around us. In our era, most of our time is filled with working or having to think about work. And this is to fill our time with things that we do to help us make money so that we can survive, but also to make money so that we can accumulate more things, or even that sense of accumulating status. And even our spare time in some ways can start to feel like work. Even as we scroll different sort of social media feeds, we can almost detach from time. And then when we use these feeds to post for ourselves, sometimes it feels like we just have to create certain versions of ourselves, jump onto certain trends, do things in a way that brands ourselves. This is where ritual can step in to be so important, because with ritual, we are creating sacred time. We are breaking that loop of seeing time as being something that's only used for work or for acquiring status or for being presented in a certain way. Sacred time is different from regular time. It allows us to check in on ourselves, but it also allows us to connect with something that's above or beyond ourselves. It even helps us to connect with others who aren't in the same space. Just knowing that others are doing rituals around the same time creates an invisible thread that connects everyone to this notion, this idea, and what I think really is a sacred time. For anyone who's interested in embracing slow living or intentional living, rituals are a beautiful way to help you to do that, because it is changing your relationship with time and it allows you to see the natural world around you. A lot of the ideas for rituals are around notions of environmental changes, the changing of the seasons, the moon phases, and this allows us to break free from the notion of the 24-hour clock being something that has to be filled with work to do and then spare moments of free time, to honoring the world that is existing around us. Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote in his book Sabbath that, quote, "The higher goal of spiritual living is not to amass a wealth of information, but to face sacred moments." I believe that rituals help us to face, embrace, and experience sacred moments. It breaks time free from something that has to always deliver an end. I'm spending my time doing this, so I will get this result. Ritual doesn't have to do that. When we truly tune into our rituals, we're just experiencing them. And for those who believe in a divinity, a sacredness, it helps you tune into that divine energy, into that sacred space, into that sacred time. So these are some of the reasons I think that ritual is so important and is something that's so beautiful to have in your life. And that's why here on Gently Being, I like to just share some ideas for how you may want to honor different times. Coming up soon, I'll have, as I said, a video looking at how to honor the spring equinox / the festival of Ostara. And in that, I'm just going to share some ideas, because when you're doing rituals, you want to make sure it's something that speaks to you. It's not something that's just words you randomly say or actions you're supposed to do. You really want to be tuned in to what you're doing. A lot of it is about intention. And part of that intention is to tune into sacred time. Thanks so much for tuning in to Gently Being. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe below, and hit the bell so you always know when there's a new video. Once again, thank you for spending time with Gently Being.